President Goodluck Jonathan arrives Uyo today for PDP presidential rally. Akwa Ibom State PDP gubernatorial candidate Udomi Mania promises to resuscitate aluminium smelter company Ikorobasi voted to power. AKBC TV Chapel of NUJ elects a new executive. Details of reason on the story. Good morning and welcome to AKBC 45 News at dawn. I am Miriam Ikbutu. President Goodluck Jonathan arrives at Akwa Ibom State today for the PDP presidential rally in Uyo. The president will be accompanied by Vice President Namadi Sambo, the national chairman of PDP Alhaji Adamu Muazu, other members of the National Working Committee and leaders of the party across the country. The state chairman of the Media and Publicity Subcommittee of the PDP Campaign Council, Mr. Nyekanu Mana, who gave the indication in a statement, said the rally will take place at the Akwa Ibom International Stadium, Uyo, from 1 o'clock in the afternoon. He said that President Jonathan and his entourage will be received on arrival by the state governor and chairman PDP Governors Forum, Chief Godswill Akpabio. Mr. Mana, who described the presidential rally as the mother of all rallies, has invited PDP chieftains, party supporters, as well as the people of the state. Meanwhile, arrangements have been concluded for the presidential rally by Goodluck and Sambo team today. Of the campaign, the Akwa Ibom International Stadium is wearing a new look for the event. Eyarino Paul visited the Nest of Champions to assess the level of preparation for the rally.
Banners and billboards hung on the electrical poles with inscriptions such as President Jonathan the People's Choice and Nigerians demand continuity at Goodluck Ebele Jonathan Boulevard are clear indications of how the PDP, the political groups, and the entire state are preparing to welcome the nation's #1 citizen. At the Nest of Champions, decorations with Nigerian colors and PDP colors add beauty to the stadium. At the time of the visit by AKBC crew, all hands were on deck to put finishing touches to the decorations, the sound system, the presidential wing, the musician stage, master stage, and lightings. The chairman of the venue planning committee, Engineer T.D. Young, who is also the special advisor to the governor on technical matters, said about 50 to 60,000 persons are expected to come with President Goodluck Jonathan for the campaign in the state. Engineer Young, who was in the stadium to ensure that arrangements have been concluded and things are kept in place for the event, mentioned that security has been put in place and that people will be screened before entering the stadium.
We are very much ready to receive Mr. President tomorrow. You can see the arena is taking shape. This whole arena will be filled with human beings. And then completely on my left-hand side, we'll have the red carpet for Mr. President and we have the walkway straight to the podium.
The state will give 100% vote and enjoin the people to come out and give the president a rousing welcome.
So it's going to be a showcase of what he can offer in his hometown. So he's one man that has promised to continue in his transformation agenda. This one man that of course has approved the Bakadipsi port. So that's the president to beat. That is the president that has the right credentials.
The sound engineers, Engineer Faith Usanga and Engineer Difrekeka, said work is in progress to ensure the smooth hosting of Mr. President.
We are sitting on the stage and the queues for the program tomorrow. Now we are in the stadium is over 30,000 capacity. So we want it to be the first of its kind. No matter where you sit in this edifice, you hear yourself, you hear what the president is saying and all of that. This is the master stage for Mr. President. This one is for the artists, the band that will play, all the artists that will come to perform.
To other people, the president's visit to the state is a thing to behold.
If the president has to come to your house, what would you keep for him?
Anything good.
Like?
A warm reception, good food, chicken and the rest of the things. I'll keep wine for him.
I'll be very excited if the president comes to my house. I'll give him what I have. First thing I'll give him is my chair. A chair to sit. Then I'll give him water. Because now I'll give him seat. And give him maybe drink or anything.
The nest of champions is beautified and is sparkling for the presidential campaign. Iyagino Paul reporting.
Few weeks to the commencement of the 2015 general elections, the PDP, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has stepped up its campaign crisscrossing the state. To this end, Ikorobasi local government area hosted the PDP campaign team on Wednesday, which was held at the local government headquarters grounds. Felix Okam has the details.
The rally, which brought people from every nook and cranny of Ikorobasi local government area, saw groups in the hundreds display banners of their preferred candidates in the upcoming elections. The carnival-like event also featured groups marching around the venue several times. Addressing the rally, Governor Godswill Akpabio, represented by his wife, Unaoma, enjoined the people of Ikorobasi to vote for Mr. Udomi Emmanuel and all other PDP candidates to sustain the tempo of development in the state. The governor explained that it would be disastrous if Akwa Ibom people allow the current level of development to nosedive instead of soaring higher. The PDP gubernatorial hopeful, Mr. Udomi Emmanuel, promised to liaise with relevant authorities to resuscitate the aluminium smelter company of Nigeria sited in Ikorobasi to boost employment generation for the youths of Akwa Ibom. 6 months into his administration, he voted into office come February 28th this year. Mr. Emmanuel urged the people of Ikorobasi to vote President Goodluck Jonathan and all PDP candidates to sustain the country's transformation as well as the uncommon transformation in Akwa Ibom State.
Anytime I know the youths of Ikorobasi and by extension Ikorobasi Federal Constituency, for the youths of Ikorobasi, there was a time every truckload, every staff bus in the morning that is coming all the way from Eke, from Abba, were heading towards Ikorobasi. And that was done because of one company. That was the aluminum company. I want to reassure you that as of today, there's light in the tunnel.
Others who addressed the rally included the Deputy Governor, Lady Valerie Ebe, the PDP State Chairman, Obong Paul Ekpo, the Director General of the campaign, Otue Komidong Nkanga, as well as the Commissioner for Commerce and Industry, Mr. Fort Tubin Kamode. Some side attractions at the rally included Ekpo Masquerade, Obiokpo, as well as the struggle for vests. Felix Okam reporting.
The Deputy Governor, Lady Valerie Ebe, has called on all aggrieved members of the People's Democratic Party in the state to bury their hatchets and work for the success of the party at the next month's elections. Lady Ebe made the call when she played host to members of Eke Senatorial Districts Forum. Colonel Edimefreti reports that the Eke Senatorial Forum consisted of candidates of the People's Democratic Party, party elders and stakeholders, chairman of councils, chapter and ward chairman in Eke Senatorial District. His report.
Lady Beth said PDP is a big family symbolized by the umbrella, adding that it was always open and welcoming, so those who feel offended should do well to remain firm in it as a demonstration of love for the party rather than change platform, as that may land them in the opposition. The Deputy Governor appreciated Eket's Neutral Forum and its leadership for the visit, for all that they have so far done to ensure that the party wins in the district, and for being engaged daily in the march for the success of the People's Democratic Party candidates. Lady Ebeh, who stressed on the need for continuous sensitization to guide the people aright on voting directions to avoid loss of votes at the elections, called on the people to close ranks and work for the emergence of Mr. Udom Emmanuel as the next governor of the state and the success of all candidates of the party, from the President to House of Assembly members.
I therefore thank you for bringing out suitable candidates we are sure will do it. I therefore persuade all to vote PDP candidates irrespective whether you made it or you didn't make it. Once a person has emerged, that person's name is erased from the list.
The Minister of Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Mrs. Akone Yahanyi, said that Eket's Neutral District was blessed to produce the governorship candidate for the People's Democratic Party, adding that the district has greater responsibility to ensure that he emerges a winner. Mrs. Yahanyi charged all to be committed to the cause and work for overwhelming success of the party.
Whatever we should have done in the immediate past that we did not do, I believe, God, by this gathering, that we should be able to, as a family, gather ourselves together to plan, strategize, and execute the project that we have at hand.
The Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Renewal, Sir Adasi Obolom, called on candidates of the party to be magnanimous in their victory by extending a hand of fellowship to those who lost the chance.
But I'm believing as a Christian who has total faith in the scripture that this has been the time of the manifestation of their destinies. And all of us must support them.
A former minister of the Federation, Chief Ndu Esosien, called on members to be steadfast and undertake person-to-person sensitization at the grassroots. The Eket's Neutral District Chairman, Mr. Kennedy Akwawo, said the stakeholders were on a visit to intimate the Deputy Governor as a leader in the area on endeavors of the party in preparatory for the elections and to seek her advice. Mr. Akwawo said they were committed for the success of Mr. Udom Emmanuel at the elections, saying it would be the beauty of the district. Others who also spoke included the senatorial candidate of the district's chief, Nelson Effiong, who thanked the people for the confidence reposed on all the candidates of the party, wife of a former deputy governor, Mrs. Atimokpoyo, who urged members not to take anything concerning the elections for granted, the chairman of Eket Local Government Council, Mr. Enyakan Willie, who spoke on behalf of the chairman from the area, Chapter Chairman of Eastern Obolo, Mr. Samuel Onyenwachi, who spoke on behalf of Chapter Chairman, as well as retired General Etugudo and Shelley Okoko, who spoke on behalf of interest groups. Others were the candidates of the party from the zone. They included Mr. Nsekwenyong, Francis Charles, Usoro Akpanuso, as well as the former chairman of the party, Chief Ita Choyo, who said with the 16 years of rulership of the party, no other party would serve as the best alternative and so should be voted for continuous development of the state and the country. Colonel Adam Efreti reporting.
In preparation for next month's general elections in the country, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Akwa Ibom State has organized a workshop to equip electoral officers and corps members with the rudiments for the exercise. The workshop was to educate the staff of the commission on the new techniques in conducting credible elections. The resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Austin Okoji, said the training became necessary to ensure a free, fair and credible elections. According to him, the workshop will enhance the readiness for verification exercise, which will come up with a permanent voters list during the elections. The head of the training team from Abuja, Mr. Ewa Valentine, said the program is set up to sensitize the electoral officers and other INEC supporting staff on how to use the electoral materials during the polls. Also speaking, Mrs. M.M. Omorin took the participants through the polling and counting procedure for 2015 elections. The state government is organizing environment sanitation in all government offices today, Friday, 30th January 2015, from 8 to 10 a.m. A statement from the Office of the Head of Civil Service advises all employees of government to participate actively in the sanitation exercise by cleaning up their offices and surrounding environments. The statement directs permanent secretaries and heads of extra ministerial departments to provide the needed logistics to assist in the effective conduct of the cleanup exercise. The statement says a clean and healthy work environment enhances efficient service delivery. So a short break here. When we come back, the news continues. Just stay with us.
People's Democratic Party is the winning party in good governance and leadership, with many years of outstanding excellence and performance in infrastructural development, education, healthcare, youth empowerment, industrialization, and overall economic development at the national, state, and local government levels. For presidency, Senate, governorship, House of Representatives, and the State House of Assembly, vote PDP in the forthcoming elections.
PDP, power to the people. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel is elected as the flag bearer of PDP for the gubernatorial election come 2015. By the grace of the Almighty God, I hereby give you the flag of the PDP, Udom Emmanuel, to fly this in Akwa Ibom State, to come back as the governor under PDP, our flag. Thank you, may God bless you and give you good success. Udom is right and fast, for Udom is the best. For Akwa Ibom said, Udom is right and fair. Behold our next governor.
So good to have you back. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Barrister Wemedi Monwuko, has made a case for increased budgetary allocation to the ministry to enable a document law passed by the State House of Assembly. The Attorney General Assembly correspondent Anthony reports that the Attorney General met the case while defending the ministry's budget proposal before the House Committee on Appropriation.
President Nwoko said the increase became necessary as some members of the public are ignorant of the existence of some laws passed by the State House of Assembly. He reasoned that the laws, when documented and made available to the public, would boost their understanding and open their minds to the limit of their actions as citizens of the state.
any use if a law is passed after the assiduous work of his house and the members of the public don't take benefit of that law or even come to knowledge of its existence or the contents thereof.
A member of the committee and chairman, House Committee on Judiciary, Justice, Human Rights and Public Petitions, Barrister Ekong Samson, harped on the need for the law library to be properly equipped with law books. Defending his 2015 budget proposals, the Provost, Akwa Ibom State College of Science, Nongokam, Mr. Edward Ekwenyong, advocated the change of the school's name to College of Science and Technology so that the institution could benefit from Tertiary Education Trust Fund and funds from other donor agencies. The chairman of the committee, Mr. Yano Ituuro, sympathized with the institution for non-receipt of last year's appropriation and expressed hope that the situation would improve so that the school can achieve its set goals. On his part, the State Surveyor General, Surveyor Ogogonisien, who was represented by Senior Surveyor Mr. Emmanuel Usoro, said the main thrust of the agency in 2015 will include the fast-tracking the issuance of certificate of deposits to prospective investors and developers. He assured that geospatial information will be provided for all government ministries, agencies, and the general public so that any encroachment or disputed land would easily be resolved. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, Administration and Head, Obiokpa Campus, Akwa Ibom State University, Reverend Father Vincent Nyoko, made a case for the release of the take-off grant to the school by government so that some projects could be executed in the university. The Deputy Vice Chancellor, who was in company with the Vice Chancellor, Professor Sunday Peters, said the fund will be used by the institution to put things in place for some departments to be accredited. Also defending his ministry's budget proposal, the Commissioner for Information, Mr. Nyekanomana, said the new AKBC television studio complex at Ntarenyang is to be equipped to capacity in 2015. It is disclosed that the state government intends to boost the information sector through the provision of equipment and training of staff. The commissioner, who was in company with the acting director general of AKBC, Mrs. S. Urofia, and other senior officers of the ministry, said the ministry will develop an archive that will store the assets and activities of the state for posterity and references. He thanked the leadership and members of the State House of Assembly for their oversight and support so far given to the executive to excel in its human and infrastructural development of the state.
The ministry is saddled with the responsibility of management and dissemination of information, public enlightenment, and of course ensuring that actions, programs, and activities of government are made known to the public and also getting the requisite feedback to ensure that government stays in proper communication with the government.
A member of the committee and Ikore-Ekpene Oborokara representative, Otuegomsi Karekong, commended the Information Ministry for marketing the state to the outside world. Anthony Etam reporting.
A new executive has been elected to run the affairs of the AKBC Television Chapel of the Nigeria Union of Journalists (NUJ) for the next 3 years. The 6-member executive emerged after a keenly contested election held yesterday at the AKBC Television Newsroom in Ntarenyang, with Colonel Edemefreti being retained unopposed. The election was watched by the state chairman of the NUJ, Elder Patrick Albert, and other members of the state working committee of the union. Other members elected are Elder Mike Achebong, Vice Chairman, Mr. Anthony Etam, Secretary, Mrs. Augusta Essien, Treasurer, Mrs. Imaba Setuk, Financial Secretary, and Mr. Celestine Ekwere, Assistant Secretary. Administering the oath of office on the new executive, Barrister Paul Tioro urged the officials to be guided by the Constitution of the Union.
So, Chairman, the new Chairman of the Chapel, you have to take the welfare of your members as the utmost priority.
Also speaking, the Director News and Current Affairs AKBC, Comfort Umana, who represented the Acting Director General, congratulated those who have won the election and urged those who have lost to accept the result in good faith. She urged the members of the chapel who are staff of the news directorate to uphold the ethics of the profession and strive to present a balanced report. The head of the AKBC Television News Department, Mr. Chris Upoto, described the election as peaceful and commended the State Council of the NUJ for recognizing the chapel as the forebearers in the journalism profession in the states.
Stay on. Not when there is a meeting, everyone is too busy to attend the meeting. Not when there is an activity of the union, people feel too big or not interested in the activity of the union, because things like this will make us be stronger when it comes to union.
I have seen this election very peaceful, very brotherly, and it's a family affair. It's always been like this since we started this chapel more than 25 years ago.
The State Chairman of the NUJ, Mr. Patrick Albert, urged politicians to borrow leave from the AKBC Television Chapel elections and other chapels of the Union to emulate to be patient and hardworking to accomplish the objectives of the profession. The State Chairman of the Union commended the state government for elevating the former Director General Pastor Press Okun to the position of a permanent secretary and for appointing Mrs. Elsie Udofia as the acting Director General.
Our politicians will learn from the example that journalists have been exhibiting over time. We have known at the state and national level to be conducting very credible and peaceful elections. Credible, peaceful and acceptable elections. Not the one that we have been hearing of cars being bombed, persons of opposing opinion or political camp being killed. We have resides with the people, and at the end of it all, with the that can wait. Congratulations to all of us.
After speech, the chairman of the chapel, Mr. Cornel Efereki, thanked members of the chapel for having confidence in him and other members of the executive. He promised to continue to build on the progress already recorded by the union and at the same time give priority attention to the welfare of members.
We promise that we will never fail you. For some who had the opportunity of being there before, you know how to save. I want to assure you we will not deviate from that. Welfare will be our #1 project. Welfare of members.
Mr. Senekanem announced the result of the elections.
So the
The concern over the Ebola virus have continued to be on the international front burner, as captured by Messi Ekere in our foreign news segments.
Researchers at Institut Pasteur in France, which first identified the Ebola outbreak in March last year, are investigating whether the virus has become more contagious. Scientists are starting to analyze hundreds of blood samples from Ebola patients in Guinea. Changes in the virus and trying to establish whether it can now be contacted faster than before from person to person. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization says it is now focused on ending the Ebola outbreak rather than just reducing spread of the deadly virus.
One of the things we know is that if you're infected by the virus, that only some of the people will be able to survive.
European foreign ministers have met in Brussels to discuss further sanctions on Russia after a series of attacks against Ukraine. The EU and US are expected to restrict Moscow's access to capital markets, making it harder for Russian companies to refinance themselves. Travel Russians as well as Ukrainian separatist leaders. Also, some ministers want the EU to impose sanctions on Russia. Moscow has, however, denied direct involvement, but says some Russian volunteers are fighting alongside rebels. Malaysia has formally declared the disappearance of Malaysia Airline Flight MH3 as an accident, clearing way for the airline to pay compensation to victims' relatives while the plane goes on. Officials say that the recovery operation is ongoing, but that the 239 presumed dead. The is unknown due to the massive international search in the Indian Ocean.
A legal practitioner with a bias for criminal litigation, horrific writer and foremost scribble player, Barrister Akwaisua Eded Akwaisua is dead. Aged 50, the late Barrister Akwaisua until his death in the early hours of Thursday, 25th December 2014, was the principal and managing partner Akwaisua Eded Akwaisua & Co., a legal and property consulting firm based in Uyo. The last child and only son of the Eded Akwaisua family of Obonitam in Itu local government area. The deceased is survived by his wife Ikwo, 3 daughters, 5 sisters and other relatives to mourn his unexpected demise. The statement, endorsed by his uncle Elder Nyong Akwaisua, has invited friends of the family, colleagues and sympathizers to the valedictory procession today, Friday, 30th January 2015, at the Akwa Ibom State Judiciary Headquarters at 9 o'clock in the morning. The funeral is to be conducted by the World Tabernacle. Uyo will follow immediately after the UPA Primary School, Obonitam, Itu local government area at 10 o'clock in the morning before interment at the family compound. A funeral mass service in honor of Mrs. Elizabeth Udo Asifia is to be held today at the Holy Rosary Catholic Church at Bottom, a Senodum local government area. The late Mrs. Elizabeth Asifia died at the age of 78. According to a funeral arrangement, a football match was played on Wednesday at the Methodist School, Okanako, Akama, while a compound mass was held on Thursday at Asifia's compound, Okaniko. The funeral arrangement indicates that interment and reception will hold today at Asifia compound. The late Mrs. Asifia is survived by 5 daughters and sons. The chief mourner, Mr. Godfrey Asifia, has invited friends and sympathizers to the funeral service. You can also watch AKBC News online by logging on to akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. That's the package this morning, but just before we go another look at the top stories. President will arrive here today for a presidential rally. Will be accompanied by the national chairman of the PDP and other stakeholders in the country, received by the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, Governor Godswill Akpabio. The AKBC TV chapel of the NUJ has elected a new executive. As a package this morning, we thank you so much for joining us. Have a pleasant night.